Alright, what's up, yins guys? Time for another video. This I wanted to tackle because I actually typed a 3-4 page comment on somebody I know's social media about this. When you type a 3 or 4, I have this rule, when you type a 3-4 page comment on somebody's YouTube channel or on their social media on a subject, you're damn near ready to make a video, because if I ever do that on your thing on your channel about any subject, and to a point where you're trying to act like it doesn't bother you, or maybe it might, and you just don't say nothing, you think I'm trolling, but yet maybe some things make sense. Well, when I do that, should I have a rule? I should make a video, and if I do that on your channel, you should. If I don't make a video, you should actually ask me to do one. Or I'm probably planning to do one already and just ask me to before I just don't get around to it and put it off, but okay. This one. This is kind of shit that I kind of talked about before, but this, they were talking about New Age stuff. And, I don't push any belief or anything on anybody. I try to rebel against damn near a little everybody and everything from fanatical religion to fanatical atheism to fanatical evolutionaryism or evolutionism and all kind of different stuff. But this one is one of the things that got me that I typed a several page comment to answer their question to the best of my knowledge, because she said she was making an argument with somebody that was New Age. And there's a lot of Christians, as soon as they hear the word New Age, they go completely ape shit, that New Age. Oh, that's evil and that. But this one, I want to answer a question about it, because they were talking about how they were disagreeing that a person that claimed to be New Age, they're including Old Testament, Holy Bible stuff in the New Age. That shit isn't uncommon. It was a big fad for a while. It's almost like damn near on the lines of being one of them there Unitarians or some kind of you got to wonder if they're New Age or they're like some kind of New Age thing or some kind of Neo-Unitarian type thing. If you look up Unitarians, they have this certain beliefs. I don't want to go on and on about that. But anyway, that's what I was thinking, that this person that they were talking to, who includes Old Testament Bible stuff, is New Age. And I answered her with this that's way different. I told them that you sort of really can't. The only reason they're doing it is because these fads, on and off, even the past few years, it keeps coming back every now and then. And they were selling different CDs and different stuff in New Age stores. You get some of these stores where they're selling Buddha statues, they're selling this kind of books and that kind of books, and you can even buy a Holy Bible here, you can buy a Quran, you can buy and there's usually some incense burning, and they'll have all kind of stuff, But anyway, that's what that sounds like to me. But I'm actually kind of making my argument that and another argument that I wanted to say. The reason why, in my book, you can't call it New Age. Not the Old Testament, King James Bible, Old Testament stuff. Not that alone. No. And this isn't Bible thumping. Matter of fact, if you know my stuff, everything I physically do and everything with different kind of music. I'm not forcing any kind of religion on anybody or any kind of anti-religion on anybody. Just trying to tell you just because of what I read and investigate in my time, even outside of YouTube, I put in, and does not make me any kind of. But yet I do have some beliefs that I kind of do perpetuate and teach outside of here that involve with my fitness videos and mixtures and my hidden messages, so to speak. But anyway, get on with it before I keep getting off the subject, because I have my own snarky ideas that will cause me to get off the subject. But no, not with the Old Testament alone. And I want to tell you, it's kind of like Old Testament, something that's not in the Old Testament that I read just to piss Christians off, or certain Christians off. But there are Christians that believe The books of Enoch, especially 1st and 2nd Enoch. I brought Enoch into it, the 1st and 2nd Enoch. You know why? Because the only way you can say any kind of a new age, because Enoch quotes, there will be a new great age. But I'm not saying it's new age like the new age religion. But the book of Enoch was talking about how God created the age that we're living, the great age. That means the sense of time that we have right now, whether you believe totally in science or anything, you can back us up with science or certain kind of beliefs if you want to. But we have 365 days in a year. We have months and seasons, right? And Enoch mentions all those. There's a whole chapter on this stuff. And he says a new age. But Enoch was calling the great age, you know, everything from Genesis in your Holy Bible, okay? The idea that we have 365 days in a year and the earth turns so fast. And then you got equinoxes, everything, you know. The whole chapter in Enoch tells you how you about have this much daylight, and then you have an equinox, and then, well, we have our daylight savings time now, which I see on internet and a little bit of TV news that certain states in my country were talking about doing away with daylight savings time. But anyway, Enoch talks about that. Okay, you got that going, right? I can even take photocopies of pictures of the book, okay? Not to force any religion on anybody or any other opposite on anybody, but this backs up. This is for the sake of the argument that I am making. I'm saying you really shouldn't have it in New Age alone. You can't say New Age in the Old Testament, King James. If you include the books of Enoch in it, which the book of in New Testament, the book of Hebrews and Jude back it up. And why the hell would they say that in the Holy Bible? Why the hell would Jude mention Enoch that way? And why would in Hebrews mention that? If there was not some valid writings about Enoch in the first place, right? And you have to put that with the book of Jubilees, which they called it the Little Genesis. And the difference between Genesis and Exodus in the King James Bible, Jubilees is an account which is rather interesting. They include in the whole story of book of Genesis, they include Enoch, and then they explain more what Enoch done and everything else. Then you should want to read the books of Enoch. So anyway, Enoch has mentioned, okay, I told you about that great age. You know, you're probably telling me, okay, get to the point, get on with it. Okay, the great age that was established, you know, my argument that Enoch talked about. And, okay, when he mentioned there was going to be a new great age later on, that there's going to be no more hours and days like what we know of on this planet. There's going to be a time that is not going to be reckoned again. There's going to be a whole new great age. There will be no need to recollect. There'll be no hours, days, weeks, months will be reckoned anymore or recollected anymore. There'll be no more labor. There will be no more suffering. And there was a thing, and he also said that there would be a new nature would be made by God for his creatures. Okay, I made this argument with a video that I could have did a little bit better. That was a little going on and on about how if you want to be a vegan and stop eating meat, that's okay. But I argued, I have one of my other videos, if you got this far in this video, that this relates to it, that the ugly truths about, I'm not saying you to not be a vegan, but I'm trying to say that some of these people, okay, there was a fall, right? Right from the fall, bodies got corrupted. Well, also, Enoch lived to be 300. For one thing, before I go into all that, Enoch lived to be 365 years before he was taken. And there's 365 days in a year. Okay. But anyway, how this relates to us, there's a fall. There was a fall, made every creature prey on each other. And I'm not defending eating meat, and I'm not against it either, but I'm not be against vegans either. You want to go ahead, go ahead. Because according to Enoch, okay, there's going to be eventually a new nature for all his creatures. There was a fall. Every creature ate other creatures. And all these vegans, these peace people, the environmentalists, how they like orcas, how wonderful they are, and dolphins. Oh, this dovetails into a story I told you. I watched Glenn Danzig's interview on Jonesy's Jukebox. He was talking about, I was watching a nature show. These monkeys were grabbing these other monkeys from a tree and really ripping them limb from limb and just eating them like that. And then I went and looked. So I'm saying nature is very sinister, and there's a reason for that. There's a fall. Yeah, of course, it doesn't mean you're going to be an asshole and just kill and eat anything you feel like it. There is a thing where we got pets now. There's nothing wrong with thinking tigers and everything are cute and they're domesticated. There's some things I don't like to do in the circuses, okay? But yeah, at the same time, tigers, lions, mountain lions, and coyotes, yeah, they'll kill you. They'll eat you. But yet, yes, they're cool too. You domesticate them. We were domesticating dogs and cats. And we have petting zoos now and zoos. Everybody likes the animals. Nothing wrong with that because it can be gradually being eased into this new thing. You know, if you do want to believe that you're going to be somewhere else. Anyway, I don't want to go on and on too about that. But yeah, Enoch said there's going to be a new nature for all his creatures. And he was mentioning that there was another heaven, another place for animals and cattle. And that they won't be judged. They won't face judgment like humans do, but yet they will get to accuse man, which was rather interesting. But at the same time, you know, there was, I guess people were allowed to eat meat to a certain point, if you believe, but something, when there was a fall, something almost wanted to make it almost like a fair game and yet a not fair game at the same time. Where, yes, just like these animals kill and eat each other, but, you know, the fall, and there's a big population and something to make a check on the population, and then there is these, these animals, you, just because maybe you eat meat or whatever, these animals kill and eat other animals, and yes, there are ones back in that time, tribal times where, hell yeah, you're going to get killed and eaten too. So you were equally, man was equally, you know what I mean, I'm saying that they were equally able to get picked off by other animals. Everything from crocodiles, alligators, to lions, and everything else. Then in tribal times later, they had, as far as survival, dancing around with torches or whatever, tribal times, get that lion or tiger pelt as a prize, man. That's they killed, that lion killed my brother, and then use it to keep warm, you know, as a coat, and it was survival. The next generations of man and animal, I can argue, did not choose that way of life, but that's the way it is. But then, now everything as we see it now is turning into a destructive climax, you know, with the horror. Something's going to give sooner or later. That's a whole other subject matter, but I'm trying to say some ballpark stuff where some of the New Age, so-called pacifist, peaceful people, the New Age, nothing wrong with some of them are nice people, but there's certain things that you act cordial and nice, but there's realities people don't want to hear. But, and I'm being fair with this shit because there's, you know, some of your diehard conservative Holy Bible thumpers, the King James Bible, they don't want to hear Enoch, but yet some of your higher level priests, whether they teach it openly to their congregations or not, they have access to a lot of stuff. The Vatican has access to a lot of stuff that we don't, and you don't know what the hell it is. But do as I say, not as I do, you know. And but yeah, the books of Enoch actually answered a lot of questions a lot of us had. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. You can't say that the King James Bible can be included in New Age unless you're the fads that kept coming back every couple of years. It's more like a version of Unitarianism. You have to include the books of Enoch, really, that And I don't understand why some of these people don't want to read the books of Enoch, these diehard conservatives, right? Yet, and they claim to be pro-life. I made old videos on this that, I know nobody on any party, not going viral or anything, but I put the video up and put it in text, so somebody's hearing what I'm saying one way or another. Yeah, how can you be fucking pro-life, right, and be a diehard conservative and be pro-life and then look down on me or talk down on me because of this ponytail, and maybe treat me the same way you treat those ones with long hair and leather jackets on YouTube and that I seen years past when I was in college. Treat me just like those ones you see over there with the atheistic Satanism that was a fad for a while when. But anyway, how can anybody that a diehard conservative be pro-life but yet preach how heroic Abraham was, what a awesome display of faith that he heard a disembodied voice telling him to sacrifice his own son, which of course it didn't get to happen, and I explained before why if you do that now, the cops should put you away hearing disembodied voices. Why the hell would you entertain that back then? I think these people didn't know one way or another the voice of God. Because of the fall, that got the very voice of God in some ways with certain people got blurred. But yeah, you cannot be pro-life and be a television preacher and glorifying that Abraham hearing a disembodied voice telling him to sacrifice his son, and then then brag about how you're pro-life and how abortion is wrong. If you want to be a pro-life and say how abortion is wrong, they need to denounce that primitive prehistoric sacrificial dogma. And if somebody asks them about it, what they should be doing is say, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Nobody does that stuff anymore." And this, because this came this was all in primitive times, where they were actually, everybody was in some kind of sacrificial religion. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's enough for today.